What if I told you that some of the most terrifying creatures ever imagined don't come from horror films or haunted novels, but from Africa's ancient past? Stories passed down through generations, not to entertain but to protect. These aren't just monsters, they are spirits of warning, revenge, balance, and survival, and in many places they're still feared today. Our journey begins in Ghana, where the Awe people speak of a spirit so small and unassuming that most would never suspect its danger. It appears as a firefly, gently glowing in the darkness, slipping through cracks in windows or the folds of a mosquito net. But this is no ordinary insect. This is the Adze. By day it hides in plain sight, but at night, when it finds a sleeping child, it transforms into something far more sinister. The Adze is a vampire, not the romanticized version seen in movies, but a malevolent spirit that feeds silently on blood, draining life without ever leaving a mark. What makes the Adze even more terrifying is that if it's caught, it doesn't flee or vanish. It takes on a human form, and when it does, it reveals itself to be someone from the village, a friend, a relative, a healer, someone you know. In the Awe tradition, the monster isn't just out there in the dark. Sometimes, it's already inside your home. Now we head south, into the caves of South Africa. There, hidden in a massive underground chamber known as the Wonderhole, lives a creature so ancient that even the gods once feared it. Its name is the Grootslang. Legend says that in the earliest days of creation, the gods made a terrible mistake. They created a creature with the body of a serpent and the tusks of an elephant. It was powerful, too powerful, so they tried to destroy it by dividing it into two lesser animals. But one Grootslang escaped the purge and fled underground. It carved a lair for itself in the depths of the earth, where it now guards a cave filled with unimaginable treasure. But the treasure isn't protected, it's bait. The Grootslang doesn't collect gold out of greed. It uses it to lure humans, to tempt the foolish and the desperate. Many have entered that cave. Few have ever returned. And the ones who do often return broken. The Grootslang, they say, feeds not just on flesh, but on the greed of man. High above the earth, among the storm clouds and lightning, another legend coils through the skies. The Zulu and Xhosa people call it the Inkanyamba. It is a massive serpent, long as a river and fierce as a cyclone, with a horse-like head and eyes that burn with rage. It lives in waterfalls and deep lakes, but when angered it rises into the sky, its fury manifesting as tornadoes and devastating storms. Unlike other creatures, the Inkanyamba is not purely malevolent. It is emotional, reactive, tied to the spiritual balance of the world. When treated with respect, it remains hidden. But when humans disrespect nature, pollute sacred places, or abandon ancestral traditions, it unleashes its wrath. The winds howl, the sky cracks open, and villages are torn apart by the storm serpent's fury. Some believe that a single glance from the Inkanyamba can drive a person insane. It doesn't just destroy the body, it shatters the mind. But nature holds more than storms. In the heart of southern Africa, a different kind of terror flies beneath the clouds. The impundulu, or lightning bird, is no ordinary creature. It is the servant of witches, a massive black-feathered bird with the eyes of fire and wings that spark with electricity. In many traditions, it's believed to be immortal, passed down from one witch to the next through bloodlines and dark rites. The impundulu is more than just a bird. It can shapeshift into a mantle, attractive, persuasive. Women have reported encounters with charming strangers who disappear before dawn, leaving only the signs of illness and weakness behind. The impundulu seduces, then drains its victims of blood, feeding its eternal hunger. It doesn't need to hunt, because it is always invited in. Some say its cry sounds like thunder. Others say it doesn't cry, it only watches and waits for the next command from its master. But terror isn't always towering or loud. Sometimes it's small, unseen, and crawling beneath your bed. The Tikoloshi is one of the most feared creatures in Zulu and Xhosa folklore. A small goblin-like being, hairy and twisted, it is summoned by dark magic to torment or kill a chosen victim. It doesn't knock at the door or wait for darkness. It slides beneath your bed, becomes invisible by drinking water, and chokes you in your sleep. Death by Tikoloshi often leaves no physical evidence, just a body cold in the morning and a family with questions no doctor can answer. In many homes, beds are raised on bricks or stones to keep the Tikoloshi at bay. Some say the creature can only reach those who sleep close to the ground. Others believe that once summoned, no height can save you. It cannot be fought, only dismissed by the same dark rituals that brought it forth. Now we travel west, to the lush riverbanks of Sierra Leone and Gambia. Here, the water hides a deadly beauty known as the Ninkinanka. Described as a dragon with glittering scales and a hypnotic presence, it waits beneath the surface, motionless, patient. Children are warned never to stare into the river too long. If they see something shimmering or hear a soft melody, they must turn away immediately. The Ninkinanka does not chase or roar, it lures. Its beauty is its weapon. Those who follow the light are never seen again. Those who survive a glance into its eyes often fall sick. Some die days later. Others live, but are never quite the same. It doesn't simply kill, it takes a part of you and keeps it. We now cross into the highlands of Ethiopia and the deserts of Sudan, where another form of terror walks on 2 legs during the day and 4 legs at night. The Buddha, or hyena, is no legend to those who live nearby. It is believed that certain people, usually blacksmiths, have the power to wear the skin of a hyena and transform into the beast under cover of darkness. The Buddha is feared not only for its hunger, but for its intelligence. It prowls graveyards, digs up corpses, eats the flesh of the dead. In some tales, it mimics human voices to lure victims into the dark. If you hear a loved one calling your name from the shadows, you are told never to answer, because the Buddha doesn't just kill, it devours, and leaves nothing behind but bones and questions. In Angola, there's a similar story, but with a cruel twist. The Kishi appears as a man, handsome, gentle, magnetic, but on the back of his head is the snarling mouth of a hyena. This creature uses charm to lure women, gaining their trust, their affection, and when they are alone, the second face emerges, the mouth opens, and the Kishi consumes everything, leaving no trace of the woman he once courted. Even in death, some spirits don't rest. In Madagascar, the Kinali are feared above all. These vengeful spirits return from the other side to torment the living, especially those who wronged them in life. They don't attack with claws or fire, they attack the mind. They cause hallucinations, violent outbursts, illness without cause. Families who are cursed by a Kinali must perform specific rituals to appease the spirit or face complete destruction from within. In Nigeria, among the Yoruba people, the spirits known as the Ajogun are not creatures of bone and scale. They are forces, invisible, patient and cruel. The Ajogun bring chaos, sickness, war, accidents, nightmares. When misfortune strikes again and again, the elders know what it means. The Arjadon are near and they won't stop until they are satisfied. Central Africa speaks of the Mabwari spirits that possess the living slowly. It starts with whispers. Then, the person becomes erratic, paranoid, violent. Families must isolate the victim in a small hut, feed them special herbs, play drums to drive out the spirit, and pray for days. Some recover. Others are lost to madness forever. And finally, we return to Ghana, to the forest canopy where the wind barely stirs. Here, the Sasabonsum waits, a vampiric being, taller than any man, with bat-like wings and iron teeth. Its twisted legs hang from the trees like thick roots. It doesn't chase its prey. It waits overhead, silent, still, watching. When travelers unknowingly pass beneath its perch, the Sasabonsum descends. It doesn't just feed, it feasts, and before it attacks, it sings a lullaby. Soft, haunting, and final. These creatures aren't just stories. They are mirrors, reflections of fear, morality, respect for nature, and the boundaries between worlds. They are lessons from the past, warnings for the future, and reminders that some monsters don't live in movies. They live in memory, and sometimes they still walk among us.